What we're seeing here is the foil metallic label. It is peeling off. If you can get the edge loose, I'll show you the other side. Again, if you can get a corner and start it loose and then peel it, it is peeling off without additional soaking of any kind. It's acting much like some of the plastic coated labels where it peels off mostly in one piece. I think this one might actually do one piece. Oh, see here where it's starting to split. I'm going to come back around and see if I can still get it to come off together. Well, there we are. Alright, now this stuff is all super sticky. So I will wash it with some hot soapy water, but not necessarily, sorry, dropped it. Not necessarily soak it, because this sticky stuff here is going to take some oil or something to remove it. I'll wash it and let it dry, and then I will put some olive oil on it and probably leave it overnight so that the oil soaks into it, and then try and scrub some of it off. And that might have to happen, well, probably at least twice and maybe multiple times for the oil to remove all the sticky, but that will eventually come off. So the label is off. Now it's just getting the sticky off. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, I didn't even get it wet yet, is I put some dish soap on my hand. Here, I'll show you again. Putting the dish soap on my hand and then rubbing it on here. I'm going to let that soak for a little bit first, then use the hot water and see what I can get off. And then I'll try the oil, but this will get some of the thick stuff off, I think. We'll check it out and see what it'll do. Okay, so now I'm going to run this under some hot water. The soap is still on there, so we'll see if it's going to come loose at all. And I'm just kind of scrubbing it with my nails to see if, not that I have much, but see if it'll loosen up a little bit. There's still a little bit of soap on there. It's not loosening up much though. Alright, sometimes the glue will come a little looser after it sits in the hot water for a while, so I'm going to put it in the sink. Let me put the plug in and let it fill with hot water so that the glue softens up a little bit. See if that'll help. Add some water to it so it doesn't just float. And I'll put it in here in just enough water to cover the bottle and let it sit for a while and see what we can do. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but the sticky has become more opaque and not as clear. It's still not coming off well, but you can see it's trying to bunch up a little bit more as I'm scraping it, which tells me it's softened. But this is not going to be a way that we completely get it off. So at this point, I'm going to rinse that off a little bit, dry the outside, and apply some olive oil and let it sit overnight. So I'm putting some olive oil in my hand, and I'm going to rub it on the jar. Just coat it well. That was probably too much, but anyway, you get the gist of it. Apply a good coat of olive oil on it and let it sit overnight. I'll test it before bed first and just see how it's doing. Okay, it's been a few hours, but definitely not overnight. But it seems like this has softened. So what we have right now, we have all the sticky and put the oil on it, and I'm going to run some hot water, which I already warmed up for myself here, and some more soap. And we're going to run that soap all over here. And I can see that some of that is definitely loosening up. Again, I'm kind of running my nails on there to loosen it up. Removing labels is definitely a process, and again, it all depends on the different glues and the different labels. This label came off remarkably well, so that was helpful. But then there's the glue, so that's what we're working on now. None of it is instant. Well, not typically. I shouldn't say none of it. Some of it just comes right off soaking in the sink, but most of them do not. Alright, so this is going to take a lot of this off. I may have to go ahead and give it one more time of sitting, but in this case it would be overnight just because I have to go to bed tonight and get up and work tomorrow, so I'm not going to stay up and wait for it. But alright, you can already see a lot of it has come off. I'm going to try just a little bit more soap. Not doing quite so much there. We try a little bit more soap and work on it some more here. I think we might even almost have it. If I can get almost all of it off, I will then try the household scrubby and see if that gets the last bit of it. I think we might almost be there. I'm going to try it. Just the scrubby side of the sponge. Hard to hang on to this. Be careful because it's slippery with all that soap. Alright, sometimes I find there's just the slightest bit still there. You might have to touch up a bit with oil after it all. I can already tell there's just a little bit here. Either with soap or if that doesn't do it, oil, but most of this is off. I can see there's just a bit here. Alright, I'm going to set it here, let it dry. But already you can see there might be just the slightest bit. I'll have to touch up some spots if there are. Looks like maybe. But that's most of it. I'll let it dry, make sure where the spots are that need touching up. But there we are. That's most all of it.